Good day, friends. I hope you're doing really well. This is Tracy Brown, your trauma-informed nutrition therapist and attuned eating expert. We're finishing up our week around value reversals and or belief system reversals. And I know that's maybe a fancy way of saying basically change your thinking if you want to get somewhere. And in Monday's video, we talked a lot about the kind of arriving from a mindset when we're doing a recovery work. Going from a mindset of providing versus depriving. When we go from a providing place, whether we're restricting, binging, emotional eating, that's beyond the normal emotional eating probably, even though it might make sense in your trauma situation. When we're coming from a place of what is this need? What is this too much or not enough need? Versus I just need to hurry up and fix this by not doing that behavior. When we shift gears from what is this need versus what's wrong with me, we tend to get somewhere faster. We can only go as fast as the slowest parts of us can go. So if you're hammering yourself, instead of providing yourself with some, adding what's missing, whether it's more support, whether it's more space, whatever, you're likely to maybe temporarily change your behaviors, but it's not going to stick because you're not growing the neurobiology you would need when you don't understand the barriers to why all this, why normative eating doesn't stick in the first place. So that was Monday. That's a lot. And I'm also hoping all the prompts I put in this week, some of it was my work, some of it was sharing other people's work with a lot of nuance and why do people binge eat and why some strategies, for prevention of eating problems, if you don't do it in a nuanced way, all you're doing is actually encouraging those very behaviors by don't do this, right? So in today's video, I hope you took all that wisdom and applied it somewhere in your life. That's what these videos for. It's not really for me to hear myself talk. It's really, all right, some intellectual information about intuitive eating, recovery, whatever. But if it's feeling hard, the goal of these videos is if something's feeling hard with what you know, but you can't take action or act something's not sticking, we need to get really clear and compassionate of what are the barriers here, right? In today's video, we're going to do another role reversal, just kind of segueing, is to basically, if you don't have compassion for anything in this process, if you don't have compassion for all parts of the process, those are going to be your blind spots where it takes you the longest to overcome. And that's just how it's going to be. So most of the time, people come to us. So me and my team, my other amazing dietitians, and they're hoping okay, in 12 weeks I'll be finished. Oh gosh, I really want to be normal and hurry up and get this over with. And I understand that. I mean, I've been in the shoes of somebody who restricts and binge and overexercises and can't get going and trauma triggers and PTSD and flashbacks and all the things. I get it. We don't want those things. I get it. And we want that to be over with and done as soon as possible. And some of those circumstances can be with the right support and the right compassionate witnessing by ourselves and others. That can happen. But some things, again, things can only go as fast as the slowest parts of us. So we have to have compassion for that. So you may have been doing this work for a little bit. Let's just say a couple years. That's not very long. If you've had struggles with eating since you were 5 or 10 or 15, and now you're 20 or 30 or 40 or 80, we didn't get into this situation overnight, so we're not going to fix it in 12 weeks either. That's number one, to have compassion for that. Have compassion and a realistic expectation of the daily dismantling and the daily new actions you're going to be taking to build a new neural pathway so the old one doesn't seem relevant, because the new one over time brings you much more benefit. Number two, we have to have compassion for the fact that freedom actually has some cost. Is that sometimes we might lose high regard from certain people who only think that you're successful if you look a certain way, or even if your recovery goes in a certain way. There are going to be people that just don't get it. They don't want to get it. They don't want to understand it. And if it's not their belief about how things need to go, then it's not legitimate. You might not. You have to have compassion for yourself that you didn't do something wrong. It's just that your circumstance, your journey really isn't being met. It doesn't have to be agreed with, but it can be witnessed, right? So we have to have compassion for that. Number 3 is that we tend to be hard on ourselves sometimes when the first go of, like, let's say there's a behavior you're just not loving. Maybe you have already unpacked the function of it. So maybe if you have a lot of binging going on, you've unpacked that, like, that's the way that you shift your state. Like, that's the way that you settle your fight or flight responses. Or maybe that's the way that you, if you're feeling like you're in a lot of dorsal where you just feel kind of numb and you don't want to be numb, but you don't know how to, like, you use your body as a resource to feel more alive. And the only way you've ever felt more alive is, like, when you're binging a lot and then you have pain or you feel sick. At least it's a different feeling. Have compassion for that. You're learning how to grow new skills. So, like, 1, name your state. I know how I feel: happy, mad, sad, or afraid, fight, flight, freeze, or please. Or I'm actually trying to get attachment in some kind of relationship. And my default strategies was to do eating disorder things or diet culture things. And now you're trying, like, to try something new. At the beginning, you're going to be in this weird kind of not there, but not staying here anymore kind of space. And it doesn't always feel good, but remember that feeling relief, weight loss to fix a feeling, an internal feeling, or to be in a relationship with somebody isn't necessarily happiness. It's just like a relief valve. So oftentimes we haven't been able to name accurately, like, oh, I don't feel happy when I'm starving myself or binging or what other thing I'm doing. I just feel less bad for a minute. So the threat response, when you're not doing those behaviors, will come up because it's like the emotions underneath all of that seeking relief that have been suppressed, pushed to the side, denied, whatever. You tell yourself you shouldn't be having them, whatever. It's going to come bubble, bloop, 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 to the surface, and you're going to feel like, oh my gosh, like, recovery is not worth it. I feel worse than I ever did. That's a temporary situation. As you grow your skills, as you grow your practice with your safe people, you're going to learn what actual secure relationships are that can see you, that can listen, that really just push you, to have your own back, basically, and not be reliant on what everybody else thinks about what you're doing to feel like that you deserve to exist, basically. So it's a lot of shifts in values and belief systems with all this. So I hope this helps, because most of the time what people do is they kind of, like, scare themselves to move faster in recovery, or they shame themselves that, like, I shouldn't have those thoughts, or I should be better by now, or I shouldn't be feeling the feelings that I'm having, and I should be normal by now. Like, why is this taking so long? I'm like, how long have you been at this? Oh, like a year, 2 years? How long have you been in an environment that didn't attune to your needs and meet your needs, and you thought like your needs were too much and are a threat, and you'll lose relationship if, like, you rock the boat? Oh, your whole life, right? Okay. We're trying to install something that doesn't exist here, and you can do that first through the language of food and body. You really can do a lot of really good healing, not just with your food, but the bigger picture by having your own back, being compassionate even with your struggles. That stuff is very important. So I hope this video helped. I hope it kind of wrapped it all up for this week. Next week, we're going to kind of go back to what we were talking about, I think about 2 or 3 weeks ago, which is I did a little survey about what people are struggling with and what they like more support with. And we did a little bit of discernment work with, like, hunger, fullness work. And then I think I'll pick it up next week with some more body image discussion. So hope you enjoy that. I hope you're here for it. I know I'm here for it. If you have a request that you would like to go deeper on some kind of topic, please put in the comments below, message me. I'll be happy to go through that. So just so you know, the things that we talk about here, if you're new to this, I guess, encouragement channel, to know what's possible for you, that, we work on the depths. We go deep with hunger, fullness work, not bypassing things in our recovery, stuff around our sense of self and identity, around what we are actually saying through our food and body and movement or not, health, whatever. Obviously health concerns, movement, nervous system health regulation. Those are the kind of body image, those are the topics we cover because, you know, I know that basically worries about food or weight are red herrings that talk about deeper stuff. So it's not as simple as like, okay, I'll stop dieting and I'll stop binging and then all my stuff is over. It's like, you know, the journey is just beginning because if you have a food worry or body image worry or something going on the things that are supposed to be simple and innocent and normal in the world, when that stuff feels hard, it's a defensive strategy against too much or not enough that we already experienced in our lives. And that was just the last straw stuff. So there's a journey to go, and we're happy to be on the journey with you. So thanks so much for being here on the live and on the replay. I do hope you're using all our free tools on our website, tracybrownrd.com. If, you know, you're feeling kind of somewhere stuck along in this journey, maybe you know a lot, but it's feeling like it's just not consistent or sticking, already I know right there, there's something going on inside that's creating a barrier to going where you want to go. It's not so much lack of knowledge. It's usually a protective response that needs to be witnessed. So if you need some help with that, please reach out. We're happy to help. Thank you so much. See you in next week's videos. Bye for now.